This is a nice quick pizza recipe. It takes about 2 hours and it makes two 13-inch pizzas. To begin, we're going to add some flour. This is 2 1/4 cups or 550 grams. To that, we're going to add 1 1/2 tablespoons of sugar. That's 19 grams. Half a tablespoon of salt, which is 9 grams. And then a full tablespoon of yeast, which is also 9 grams. We're just going to mix this up lightly. We don't have to make sure everything's combined yet, since we're going to be mixing in our liquids later, and then we're going to knead it for a while as well. We're going to add 1 cup of water that's been mixed with half a cup of milk. I've heated this up in the microwave to roughly between 95 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. This is enough to activate the yeast without killing it. You're just going to mix this in and form a loose dough. This is only a 70% hydration dough, so it should be a little dry. Once it gets a little shaggy, something about this, you're going to add 2 tablespoons, which is 27 grams of olive oil, and just mix that in. Once your olive oil is mixed in, you can either let it sit here for about 10 minutes to fully hydrate the flour, or you can just start kneading. The kneading's going to take around 5 to 8 minutes, but if you let it rest, it might take less time. What I'm doing here is I'm testing the strength of the gluten. If you just pull off a little bit and you try to pull it really thin, and if it just instantly starts to tear apart, that means your gluten hasn't developed enough yet. Here I am testing it again, and as you can see, you can pull it much thinner and be able to see through the other side, which is what you want to be able to do, and that's how you know your gluten is fully developed. Then you're going to want to put it in a bowl with a little bit of olive oil. Then just throw some saran wrap on top and let it sit for about an hour or until it's doubled in size. If you have a proofing drawer, it'll make it a lot quicker and it'll only need to rise for about 30 minutes. Here it is after rising for an hour. As you can see, it's doubled in size. All we're going to do is shape it and divide it into 2 pizza balls. Then you're going to take your 13-inch pizza pan. You can use a regular pan as well. It doesn't have to have the lip like a normal pizza pan has. Just make sure you put it on some parchment paper. And then I'm just going to roll it out. Next, you're going to want to add some sauce. I'm using a homemade sauce, but you can also use store-bought sauce. It's important to add a decent amount since we're going to cook it with just the sauce initially. You can also add some Parmesan right here before you throw it in the oven. Speaking of which, we're going to throw it in the oven at 450 for 8 minutes. While that's cooking, I went ahead and made a garlic butter. All I did was combine 2 1/2 tablespoons of butter with 3 cloves of garlic, and I seasoned it with Italian seasoning to taste. Next, let's talk about cheese. It's important that you don't use a pre-shredded cheese with cellulose. That's going to make it not want to melt and not want to combine. Once it's done with the initial cook, it's time to add the toppings. I just went with a basic sausage pizza. Then it's back in the oven for 10 minutes to finish cooking.